As we're getting ready for our trip to the UAE in 2 weeks, we're receiving numerous questions about where to get the right COVID test to be able to enter the UAE, what that test is, what it should cost, how soon we need to get the test, and such. So I went ahead and decided I'd put together a very brief video. We've put some of this out time and again through WhatsApp and such, but there's enough variation, so many choices out there, modest confusion about the right thing to do, that we thought we'd go ahead and just give you a brief video to walk you through this. So I'm going to go ahead and help you see what I did on Thursday to get a test result, just so I could know my current test status. My wife had COVID a little over a month ago. I was exposed to her all that time. I never tested positive with the rapid antigen tests, but I wanted to make sure that I was still testing negative with the ST PCR test, which you now know is much more sensitive, and that is the type of test we need to have, and we need to have a report for in order to be able to fly to the UAE together on March 1st. So when I went ahead and did this last week, I used the testing services available through the Utah Department of Health. I believe that those testing services are given by a company by the name of NewMe. And you can get to this website by putting in testutah.com, testutah.com in your browser, and this is the screen that will come up. When you've done that, just go ahead and scroll down here to where it shows you assess, test, and track, and then the only thing you need to click on here is start now. So I'm starting, and immediately go ahead and click on schedule appointment, and what you'll see is that this map comes up. Now this map actually can be changed. This shows 5 locations, but it's page 1 of 5, so you can scroll through this. I can go ahead and put my zip code in here, and when I do, it's not going to change the map because of where I am. But I happen to know that the location I would like to go to is the Cannon Health Center for the Utah Health Department. So I don't see that on this. In this list here on the right, I'm going to go ahead and click on the next so I can see page 2 of 5. And here I see the Utah Department of Health Cannon building right here. Each of the locations that are on this list, or the 5 pages of this list, so there's going to be 20 or 25 of them, all use the NUMI, N-U-M-I, testing center facilities. And you can go to these locations and you'll find everything is very well structured for you. You drive right up to this. If you have an appointment, they take you right then. I was in and out within about 3 minutes. I had an appointment that we'll walk through scheduling in just a moment. I didn't have to wait. There was no one else around. And I received my results in about 24 hours. And they were the type of results for the type of test with the type of report that we need in order to all go to the UAE together. So in here, I've selected the Utah Department of Health Cannon building. And I see right now that it just gives me some walk-ups being available. Now, when I looked at this last week, and even when I looked at it a few hours ago, it actually gave me testing times that were available. It's been my observation that if you look at this before about 3:30 in the afternoon, it shows you the different times available. If you look later than that, it shows you walk-up times and lets you pre-register. I don't believe I just simply walk up. I think to do that, you're taking a risk on there being a line or having to wait, having a bunch of people there, them not having enough staff. So I would go ahead and pre-register for this. And remember, we need to test no more than 72 hours before our scheduled flight departure, not before going to the airport, not 3 days-ish or so in advance, 72 hours before our scheduled flight departure on March 1st. So I'm looking at this, and obviously I don't see a date late enough that would help me with that, because as you may have seen on WhatsApp, there's only 5 days at a time on here, and every day an additional day is added and the more recent date is dropped off. So if I looked at this tomorrow, I would see the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and so on. And you should be able to see that for every day but Sunday. So the sites at these health department locations using the NUME service are active from early in the morning till 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So if I was going to go ahead now and select one of these, let's say it was the day that I actually wanted to have the test, I would go ahead and click on pre-register, since that's the option given me. When I did it, I clicked on the time. It took me through a couple of screens, and then I went through the pre-register. But here, with the view that we're seeing, we see pre-register, and I'll click on there, and immediately it takes me back to the schedule appointment screen. And so rather than think I'm stuck in a loop, which I might have been, I click on schedule appointment again, and now it takes me to something new. So I'm not stuck in a loop. It's not just a feedback. And I can go ahead and read this in English, or I can read it in Spanish. I can either accept it or decline it. I'm going to go ahead and accept, of course. And then you start to give information that is unique to you. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and do that. I've already done it. I don't want to create another registration because I already have one. But as you walk this through, then it will give you the opportunity to register for a specific day, a specific time, a specific test. Make sure that you are getting the RT PCR test, and make sure that you end up getting one that's got a report that will be given to you when your results come in. My results came in within about 24 hours. And so I tested Thursday afternoon. I had them back Friday afternoon. And here's what my test report looks like. It identifies that it's NOMI Health. A few minutes ago, I said NUME, excuse me, it's NOMI, N-O-M-I. Indicates where it is, indicates who I am, a little bit more information about where and when this happened. It was collected at 3 o'clock, or approximately 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the 10th. The report was available at just after 11:15 a.m. on the 11th. There's a medical record, test type. I tested negative, fortunately, and it was a SARS-CoV-2 test. So all of the relevant information that we must have on these reports in order for them to be able to be useful in letting us get on the airplanes to go to Dubai, and then to be able later on to enter Abu Dhabi. So this is the process that you want to go through. My wife, interestingly enough, tested on Thursday as well, and we had her go to a different location altogether that was selected through a different website. And the one that she went to was, again, it was a mobile facility. It was in the parking lot of the Southtown Mall. Everything looked just fine, but she tested within an hour or so of when I did. Her test result finally was available yesterday afternoon. And so fully 3 days into this, we weren't very comfortable with that because 3 days into this is 72 hours. And now had she been relying on that to get on the airplane, we would have been in trouble. And we don't want to do that. So Mike has recommended this site and one of these facilities to me. I'm now recommending it to you. It starts with Test Utah. Test Utah. And it will then take you to the NOMI site. So testutah.com takes us to the Test Utah site administered by NOMI. Scroll down, start now, schedule an appointment, find your location, select the location, and depending upon the time of day you do this, you can either select a specific time or do this pre-registration. Then schedule appointment again, accept, and then it lets you go through the process. I found it very easy to follow. I found their execution flawless, and I was pleased that we went through and did it like this.